Again, I'm going to ignore this error, that message that keeps popping up on my screen, and it's a pleasure to be live, and it's a pleasure to be with you. I will get my shit together in a second. Welcome, Mr. Eric Lothbrook, top dating coach there. Greets from Cologne, Germany. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Links, guys, when you join in, if you're brand new to Periscope, I've used it a few times before, because your names don't actually say who you are. Just quickly type in your name, your first name, and which city around the world, and just say hi. And there you go, the hearts. That's the currency of Periscope. You tap the screen a couple of times and you see these little hearts pop up. That's the currency for sharing. So I'm just gonna wait for a few others to join in, but I'm gonna keep there. Albert, where you from, Albert? I'm from Cologne, welcome again. Shanty Dimples, where you from, buddy? I'm assuming that sounds like a woman, by the way. Daniel Porto, where's Porto? Sounds cool, what, Brazil somewhere? The one Odin joined, that rings a bell. So guys, tonight's session, what's up Sean? Might need to jump off here shortly. The great thing about Periscope, Portugal, I knew it was somewhere cool. Ricardo from Mexico, we are going to be live in Mexico in a few weeks time actually. So yeah, the great thing about Periscope, I've added a feature that it's recording via a program called Catch. So if you follow on the Twitter account and you follow me as well, you'll be able to see the whole replay and you'll be able to fast forward and rewind and share it as well. So before we do get started, guys, I've got a lot of guys jumping on this call tonight. Hey, Jamie from UK. Whereabouts in UK, my friend? So one thing you can do, it depends on the app, what you're on. If it's an Android and iPhone, swipe down or to the right, have a little experiment, and you'll see the ability to share this. And if you share this immediately, what it will do is immediately share it with key people that you choose or your whole list within Twitter, which is a great way to get other guys on. And, you know, let's share the love a little bit here. Just outside Sheffield. Nice. Alex Z, as in Alec, Mr. Hollywood. And I love Sub-Discovery, Mr. Santo Theg. What's your name, my friend? Again, you see these little hearts. If you've never been on Periscope, this is a really great way, right? Here the thing is, you know, I've got a boot camp and we're charging $2.5 grand or so, $2,500 for live infield training, $700 for seminars. But here we are sharing live some great lessons that you can interact with, and it's a wonderful concept to do that. So all we ask in return is you share the love, and those little hearts that are popping up on the right, just tap your screen a couple of times. There you go. Thank you, Mr. Sam, there for sharing on there. Appreciate you, buddy. I really do appreciate you being here as well. So you tap on the right, there you go. That's what we call a heart attack. That's people, it's like applause, it's like appreciation. Somebody sharing something of value, not just with me, but when you're on Periscope and somebody's sharing something of their knowledge for free, just share the encouragement. And I really do appreciate you for doing that as well, because that lets other people know that something of quality that they might want to get on. My goal, Mr. Impactron, what's your name, my friend? Where are you from? My goal, I am laser focused, something I learned from the Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street. Be laser focused. My goal is to help 100,000 men not find love, but to help them get the skills that they need so that they themselves literally can go out and find, meet, and win, and keep the woman of their dreams. Now let's sort this shit out, because I look like you're staring at my nostrils. There we go, there we go. This is the beauty of just live training, you know. Daniel from Mexico, welcome, welcome, welcome. We'll get this right, we'll get it right. Stand still, damn you, stand still. There we go. We can work with this. We can work with this. So by the way, if you're watching it and you see the tiny little screen, just flip the screen around. Good goal for you to teach. More than welcome. It's what fills me with my pleasure. I love what I do. I'm a professional trainer by trade. For those of you who don't know me, I got into the game. Quick story. I was in Germany for a while in the British Army, and I had a little bit of a social circle. I had my guys around me. We had a bit of a good times, and by default, occasionally I'd get laid. It's the way it was. I left that, and when I came back to the UK, I realized I didn't have this group around me anymore. And what happened with that is that I didn't get laid anymore. I was like in London, managing a little small fitness club, and I'm like, how do I go out? I'm in London, bloody expensive in the first place.
And how do I meet people? I had no skills whatsoever. You see, the army gave me a little bosom of people around me, but what I didn't have was any skills. And then I just accepted that's the way it is. So I kind of once a month get together with some ex-army buddies. And for those of you who are just joining in right now, we met a few years ago. You did training where I was working. Jamie. I think I might remember. Was it Nottingham? For those of you just joining in, pick up training. My goal right now with these Periscopes is to take the pain out of the game for you. Literally helping you learn faster. You've all got to learn it. It's a skill for friggin' life. So you've got to lock this down. And every year that goes by where you don't lock pickup down, or social skills at the very least, then you're going to feel the pain. So I'm going to help you because I've been the guy on that journey. Right now I'm just backwards engineering and literally sharing you how I came to get into the game. And what happened was I was launching a few fitness clubs and I was good at what I did. And I had a little bit of a selection from the people around me, maybe members of the club, but I had no social skills to go out beyond that and have any choice. I'd get anything hot, I'd be taking the sevens, not that we are supposed to rate girls on a scale of 1 to 10. But hey, they talk about us, I know they do. So I had limited choice. And, maybe if I was training my team and somebody was inspired by that, I might get laid, I might get a girlfriend. And then when I got into those relationships, I was so needy being in them because I didn't have choice and I feared getting out. So there was no willingness to walk. Women sensed that about me. And in the end, I just had enough after years and years and years of traveling. I just thought, that's my life, you know what I mean? And then I heard about the game and somebody had told me about a boot camp. So I'm the kind of person, I'm not clever, but I am kind of common sense orientated, so what I figured out was if I just find the best at this dating and seduction shit in my mind, then I can learn faster. And that's what I did. So I found out that mystery, Eric von Markovic, my great friend now, and mentor in the game specifically, was teaching in Chicago. Yeah, it was a bit of coin to fly over there, but I made some money. I thought I need this. So I flew out there. And do you know what I found? I was surrounded by people who knew all this statements about DHVs and I had no idea. I was trying to read the book on the game on the way over, and it was just too intense for me. In fact, the people at the boot camp were just too intense. And what I found was when we went out, I had no skills. And these guys are walking up there and wow, they were getting giggles and laughs. They might not be getting anywhere, the other students. And I'm like, you know what? I've paid a lot of money to be in Chicago. I've made more effort to be there. I need to make this happen. So one thing I remember is what I lacked in skill, I made up in numbers. I got blown out. Not blown, there's a big difference, right? I got blown out more times than any of the whole boot camp put together. But I also got a few more successes. And interestingly, the guys don't remember how many times and the pain I went through to get blown out and approaching the anxiety. I just did a numbers game, and that's all I knew. And I started getting good results, and then I ended up helping out with Mystery in the program as a role as a program director. And by default, because I was with the best in the world, it was a love drop. Amazing conversational skills, the ability to have great banter and easy, fun, playful vibe. Matador for the absolute caveman and alpha male approach. And then Mystery from the conversational wizardry and delivery and the ability to impact and captivate a room. So I had 3 fantastic mentors. And I was able to extract, because I was literally every boot camp, every month flying out there. It cost me a lot of money initially, yeah. But I wanted to lock this down for the rest of my life. And by default, so mass approaches help. There you go. What you lack in skill, make up the numbers in the early days, because then the repetition will click in, yeah? You can backwards engineer, natural game, and inner game, and all that stuff later. Numbers. If anybody's in business right now, who's in business? Who's got their own business? You know that when you're launching a product or getting started on something new, it's about the numbers. That's all that counts. Numbers counts. Skill will catch up. But if you're too busy trying to get into headspace, it gets a little bit harder. So that's how I came to be in the game. After a couple of years, Mystery gave me his Master Pickup Artist badge. I was a supposed Master Pickup Artist. I was also very good at training. That was my background. Professional team dynamics, sales training. So I understood how to break down the game from all of these different masters. Not like Styles' journey about like the makeover, but how to learn faster and how to get faster results. And that's when I started pushing the boundary. And I took over the whole coach program for Venetian Arts. I was their master trainer. And we were helping thousands of guys around the world. So now Mystery and I have moved on. We're in the 3-second rule as our new company. We have a big comeback. I'm a little bit older. I ain't 19 years old anymore, right? So I have a different style of game, very much a sophisticate, so it does appeal to people who don't want to be crawling around bars. And we'll talk in the next month about things like locking your lifestyle down. Because a lot of guys cheat the game and it's good to hook the girl, but if she sees no depth to you, your persona, your personality, your character, and also your pockets, your wealth, and your health, and your lifestyle. Remember, woman, she's looking for 2 things, if I can quote David Buss from The Evolution of Desire: social status and economic security. Basically, if she gets together with you, is she going to improve her life? Yeah? Is she going to improve her life? She doesn't want to go backwards. So a lot of guys in the game fall down and fall short on that because simply they've not looked on their life. They've not looked. And I've had a couple of coaches who helped out in the early days who were very, very good at pickup, but they didn't look after their life. And they were taking women back to some shitholes in London. No names. And these guys are good friends of mine now. And they learned, but it was a painful journey for them because they stopped focusing. And one little tip I'm going to say to you all is don't let pickup, as nice and exciting as it sounds, take over your life. Remember, it was a skill set that you got into. You got into this for a reason. Do not forget the fucking reason why you got into this. Lock the skill set down and get on with living life. Good question I need to answer. You would like answered. Good. So do me a favor right now. Just take a little break for those people who are just joining us. We're about to go into the session. The session I'm going to cover today is how to get good delivery and why delivery is super important in the game. So if you wouldn't mind sharing this really quickly with your group, swipe left, swipe up, swipe down, and you'll see a little share button. It'll automatically do it on your Twitter. If you create the link, copy the link and tap it into your Facebooks, then the other guys can jump on and we can join in. If you like what I'm saying and we're on point, do me a favor, just tap the screen now. I know you're still alive, and then I can see the little hearts flowing, and then I know that we're all working together here. So it shows me here, who have we got? We've got Lives, Master Alex, Daniel, Sammy, Jamie, Loud Chirp. Who's Loud Chirp? Where are you from, my friend? I appreciate the hearts there from you all, guys. I appreciate the love. I really do appreciate you. And, screen video frozen might just be my phone. Is anybody else? By the way, you can interact on this. Sitting with pen and pencil, really appreciate free content. Albert, you're much more than welcome, my friend. I love a good heart attack. When you see these hearts pumping around, that's like, because I can't see you, right? So in an audience, I can see people nodding. It's making sense. I know it's got the right impact. I'm pitching at the right level. The hearts are flowing. I know we're on point. So what I'm going to do myself is to make sure that, because you're going to have questions that are going to pop up, and I'm not going to ignore you. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to write them down, if I may, and that way I'm going to park them. So when we get into the little Q&A afterwards, I can come back to the point. So if you have a question, just say your name rather than your Sam Toe tag. That doesn't tell me anything. Say your name and what your question is. I might answer it if it's totally relevant in the moment. And I'm sharing this now because we've literally got the next 7 days. I'm going to be doing these back to back. So then I can answer them. And if it maybe is more relevant on the next session, I may park it. Not to be rude to you guys, because I appreciate you. I get a lot of enjoyment out of this. I've had a lot of, for those of you who know me, what I've done in the game and what I've achieved with Mystery. We've wrecked rooms, we've wrecked joints, we've had amazing times. I've met some beautiful girlfriends on my journey who are still friends in my life. My present girlfriend, an amazing girl, and I met because of the game. I met her in Sweden on a boot camp with Mystery. And Baxter as well. Much love to my brother out there. Has been kindly looking after the crazy wizard himself, and that takes some bloody doing, Mystery, mate. And yeah, but we're all making a comeback to share with you guys. No other reason. A lot of us have got our lives locked down. We're making good coin elsewhere now, and so I'm just happy to share. So this is your session. So you don't have to sit there and just observe. Be part of this journey. So if there's any key things you would like covered, feel free to pitch them in now. Swedish women are smoking hot. They sure are, my friend. They sure are. Very natural beauties as well. I like American women as well because they're a little bit more gobby. They're a little bit more, The more engaging British women, I like the fashion styles of British women. Sometimes a little bit harsh and dismissive, but you can break through that. Wherever you go in the world, there's something different. The interesting thing, Miami, oh, do you know what? Walking down the front strip in Miami, you know what fascinated me is the mannequins, okay? I lived in Germany for a long time, British Army. That was, going back to this, I'm going to come back to Miami, remind me, Germany. You see, here's a funny thing. If you want to change anything in your life, Eric, my friend, you're on record there, pump the hearts, share it before you go. Mr. Alpha Male now joined, you're welcome. Pleasure to have you here, buddy. Speaking of Germany, young soldier in Germany, get out there, stuck in a barracks on the hill, and the women in the army, they weren't so nice, you know, they weren't so nice. So, and I was shit at French. I couldn't even learn French, never mind German. I was not clever in that sense, but I had a goal. I wanted a girlfriend. I wanted to get out of camp. Seriously, took me my whole school life, and I couldn't even have a conversation in French, never mind German. Within 1 year later, I was a translator. Just repetition. Why? Because I was a guy, a kid with a goal. I wanted to get laid and I wanted a girlfriend. And so one of my first proper girlfriends was in Germany. It was good times. They're very, very open and forward. So that was fun times. Going back to Miami, you know what surprised me in Miami? The beauty in Miami is so good. The mannequins, when I was walking by, just window shopping, we were walking back from a bar one night, Mystery Night, and the mannequins, the tits on these things were off the chart. Like normally they have like fashion kind of boobs on these mannequins. These things were like designed to be in the hands, like we were just like, am I really staring at mannequins there, you know? So yeah, Miami's got some beautiful women. They've got some very beautiful women. So what I want to get into is the delivery. I'm not going to go into gambits. I might touch on those, but the idea is not to get into that. I'm going to be covering the difference of routines and gambits and natural, and there's different styles of the game. And in the next 7 days, I'm going to be covering and talking about the pros and cons of each, and which might actually be better for you to get the best out of your game. That's okay. You see me? Who's on, by the way? If you've just joined on and you're brand new and you're just watching this, because I know people are getting in and out and they'll watch the replays later, what you need to do, same time every day. Do you know what? It's a good point. Thank you for asking, Albert, my friend. Yes, I'm going to go for that 9 p.m. Now, that might not work through the middle of the week. I may have to do it later, but I will announce them on a pre-announcement each day about a few hours before. I'm going to try and be mindful on a working day that in the UK, I may have to stay up at midnight for you guys, because you're like 8 hours behind, you know, and when I'm in Finland, like you guys are 10 hours behind, so catch the fuck up, you know. So deliveries, what I want to talk about right now, and one of the things that I saw Mystery do, one of my first early boot camps in Washington, what really brought alive how important your delivery is. And delivery is a skill that can be learned. It can be learned all day, every day. Remember, Auntie Robbins, 97% of the luxuries, the richness of your life will come from the richness of your communication. So if you find yourself not having much impact in a bar or a loud club or in the daytime, sometimes it's just the way you speak. Remember, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I'm going to break down why. But going back to Mystery, we were in Washington, and I remember meeting this hot little probably a nice age, just very sophisticated, like British looking. We're in Washington, a political science girl. I remember speaking to her, and she kept looking over my shoulder. I'm like, what the fuck? And I was trying not to react. There's bloody Mystery standing there all peacocked at, and he's got this crowd around him. And I'm like, okay, wow, yeah, let me introduce you to my friend, you know, break my own gambit, move on. And the funny thing is, we moved across, and there he was, talking his Google Earth opener. I can't stand that shit. I can't stand it. I hate it. Why? Probably because I've heard it so many times and I'm just not into Google Earth. He is. But what was fascinating is her friend was stood there listening and she asked her, what's he talking about? Now, the halfway through, they couldn't have really understood what he was talking about. And she's, I don't know, but it's fascinating. And then she stood there like, just listening. Okay, social proof is rippling because people are listening. Leader of men is kicking in. Pre-selection because other women are trying to get his attention and grab his paraphernalia. But what got me is his ability to captivate in any environment. Well, what it is just the way he speaks. If you listen to how he speaks, now, I'm a very fast speaker. I'm from the north of England. I can talk all day long. But what I had to learn, and I still have to practice consciously, it's not unconscious for me, is to speak slower and have a bigger range in my voice. And if you don't believe that, is remember that what you say, if you think in neuro-linguistic programming terms, is 7% words, 38% tonality, the delivery. He's amazing at state elicitation. There you go. Somebody's bidding on something else in the background for me. I've got lots of shit going on. You get distracted by modern tech, right? So, where were we? Right. So, yeah, there he is. Doing his thing, totally captivated. But what was great was his delivery. And it's only 38% of the influence. The rest, 55% body language. Now, if you don't believe that, let me write something out for you. I showed this on the bootcamp. I did not say he beat his wife. Silly statement to make, right? I don't know who I learned this from. Remember, everything you've learned from somewhere else, so always give props. I did not say he beat his wife. Okay? I did not say he beat his wife. Imagine you are a witness in a court of law and you read that act. What does it say? Now, what does it say when I say this? And just type in as well. Be engaged on this. I did not say he beat his wife. I did not say it. So I'm insinuating what? I didn't say it, somebody else said it. I did not say he beat his wife. Didn't say it, but he's guilty, there you go. But I implied it. I did not say he beat his wife. So that he beat his wife. I did not say he beat his wife. He slapped her around a little. We didn't beat her. Only fucking around, only playing here. Okay, be a gentleman. I did not say he beat his wife. He beat somebody else's wife. I did not say he beat his wife. Maybe his girlfriend. Do you see that just by the inflection tone on one single word changes the dynamic of the whole sentence? Implication, there you go. So you get the point. The words are irrelevant. A lot of the routines in the whole game were created not so guys can use them to get the women. It's to, one, give them something to damn say, because it's better than saying fuck all, okay? And for all the guys who say just be yourself, depends on where your starting point. If you're at the starting point for being myself is totally fucking anxious, nearly pissing my pants to go approach, saying be yourself ain't fucking working, mate. It's alright if it's good for you, then fuck off and go somewhere else and help somebody else who doesn't need it. But for the guys who need it, okay, being themselves wasn't enough. So we gave them gambits, little routines, playful things. Nothing insulting, nothing serious, but just to get them to approach. A lot. I did a sports psychology. Somebody's asking, have you studied much NLP? I'm not really the nerdy into the technical sides. I kind of like the practical. And when I was in Germany to help me meet more women, I did this little mini 1-year sports psychology diploma in German. NLP was very much laced into that. So that was my kind of introduction. And yeah, props to Ross Jeffries as well. I studied a bit of that. Again, what I found was too technical for loud environments, etc. But what it was great for is that they were scripted things that you needed to say. I didn't want to use those to get the girl, but what I was using them for a lot was, and they did help, by the way, especially in comfort, by the way. But what they were really good at was helping me hone my delivery. So guys, if you've got that part of the game where you're getting there and you're in comfort and you really want to get to the next level, look at some of the routines. Because the hypnotic style languaging and softer and range and tone that you're playing with is very, very powerful. NLP is boring to the girl initially. Yeah, a lot of guys, NLP, you go in talking about NLP. Don't fucking talk about NLP. Lace it in with your language if you're going to do it. And as Ross Jeffries has said, he said it himself at our LA convention, it's not so great in the initial louder environments, and where it really kicks in if you had Mystery's method initially, and then Ross Jeffries in the comfort zone where you're one-on-one and softer language. Perfect times. So great. Yeah. Jamie's an NLP fan, I can tell. I'm not going to get derailed on your NLP. By the way, if you're on Periscope, people will always try and hijack your thread. Okay, so I'm a practical kind of guy. Okay, so I believe in much. I'd rather flick the light switch a few times more and get used to having light than try and figure out fucking physics. Later on, when I'm into it, then I can go backwards engineer and figure out fucking physics, right? So, no, I'm only fucking with you. Hey, we're just having a bit of fun here, right? So the delivery was everything. And it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And that's what Mystery mastered. It wasn't just the gambits he was talking. Some of them were absolute bollocks. Some of the shit I said was absolute bollocks. But it's the way you said it that women were captivated. And I'm like, they're really buying this? No. They're buying you because you're excited about what you're saying. You're passionate. More passionate you are about what you are saying, that is where your focus of energy is, as opposed to putting your focus of energy into them. And the more you put your focus and energy into them, the more you're showing interest and the more you're giving away your value. Okay? So by being into what you are talking about, and what would happen if you had said the same thing and you were telling your friend a good story that happened to you a few years ago, you'd naturally have a better range. But when guys go up to girls the first time, their brain farts, you know, they have warm, fuzzy ideas of what they want to say, they ask boring questions. There's no delivery, there's no passion in it. There's just interest, neediness. So the gambits give the guys, number one, something to say, get them out of their headspace. But if they repeated the same thing time and time again, they got the ability to hold court, to captivate an audience. Why is that important? Because if you're going to go for, not necessarily for the day gamers, by the way, okay? If you're crawling around the day game, but a little word of warning, okay? Because I love day game. But at some point when your girl wants to go out to a bar or a nightclub and you have never gamed properly in a nightclub and you don't know how to use your voice and you don't know how to captivate attention, then you're fucked because you're going to stand like a wallflower and she's going, oh wow, I thought you were a cool guy and now you're this socially awkward guy around other people. So you need a bit of both. But the reason delivery is important is typically in a social environment, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 girls in a group, maybe 2 girls. You've not just got one girl on her own. So you have to learn how to captivate and keep the group's attention. Because if you can't keep the group's attention, one of them is going to cock block you. I like groups in day or night. Absolutely. One of them is going to cock block you. She's going to lose interest, and because she's losing interest, she's going to be pulling away. Even if she's not pulling away, she's trying to be semi-polite. Her friend, because girls are intuitive, are going to be picking up on the fact that she's bored. It's the opposite of pre-selection. If you can't be socially intuitive enough to lead the group, and her friend's really bored, that's lowering your value. So delivery was super important, and the gambits and the little routines, they gave guys a way to be more expressional, to be more comfortable holding court, having conversations in social environments. And then, as they got better with their delivery, as we did, then you can talk about fucking anything. I'll come back to how do you overcome a cock block. I'll come back to that. Cock block. You can say anything and get away with it. And then you're able just to talk about shit happened today, shit happened yesterday. But the very way you say it, and I'm playing with my delivery right now for you guys to keep you captivated. The very way you say it keeps them interested, yeah? And as you gather interest around you, other people see that you are a sociable guy. You warm your value up in the room. And by warming your value up in the room, that's how you get to hotter sets, yeah? So, what are some little tips that you can use for your delivery? Number 1, slow the fuck down. Why is that important? Well, first of all, if I was speaking really, really quickly, okay, leaders don't need to speak quickly. People speak really quickly because they're worried that somebody's going to interrupt them. They're trying to get what they want to say out. They're not used to having people listen to them. And that's just an unconscious level of understanding that's intuitive. And what would happen if the leader's speaking? He's used to having people listen. That's why mystery really slows down. Almost too uncomfortable for me. And I have to work on that. But you get more people captivated by what you have to say. The benefit of slowing down also is that you have more time to think when you're in field. Even in your business environment, this is totally transferable to the business world. I've maxed it, guys. I've had some tough times in my life. The game has helped me bounce back. The game cost me a lot for taking time and money out of my pocket, okay? But it also gave me a lot for the rest of my life. It's a skill for the rest of my life. And the same communication skills are relevant to every single business area. The next time you're going for a job interview, the next time you're out with your bosses socially, the next time you're trying to win over your team to get something done, the next time you're proposing a product or a launch for your team, it's all the same influence. And where's influence? Your communication, your delivery that you get to practice in the game. So having that range of delivery allows you to captivate more. But remember, not having it and speaking too fast looks like you're anxious. And if you're a really fast speaker, then maybe just the way you are. But she doesn't know that. She doesn't know you yet. Remember, you don't have your value on the outside like she does. Rightly or wrongly, we look at women and we judge women based on their beauty initially. But they don't base us on our beauty. They like the look of the guy, okay? But it's what you have to say and how you say it and how you behave that will attract them. So the delivery and speaking too fast shows you're needy, shows you're anxious. Why would you be anxious? That means you're reacting to her beauty and she's going to see you as lower value straight away. So by being slower has a benefit. One, allowing you to think about what you have to say. Two, not needing as much material. You just take your time and go through it. Three, especially in social environments, it stops people going, what did he say? And you having to repeat yourself. You don't want to be repeating. By speaking slower also, one of the key things for me is you get to pronounce, you get to play with your words. You get to play with the range of delivery of your voice and tonality because you are speaking slower. Hey buddy, how you doing again? So who's got on? A little quick shout. If you're just joining on, we're talking about delivery. We're talking about delivery. Swipe down, okay, swipe right shows us a lot of options there. Timothy, Coach T. Anthony, Master. And guys, I appreciate the hearts that you are pumping. If you're appreciating and it's making all sense for you, then just tap the screen right now and then I know you're alive and we're hitting it. There you go. I love using pauses too. Coming back to that, coming back. So speaking slower, more opportunity, okay, for you to look relaxed, for you to formulate what you're saying in your mind and play with your range of voice. And that's where we're going next. So I created, when we were teaching opening, before I got into opening, we're going to cover that in the next couple of days as well. Not tonight, but in the next couple of days. 7 days I'm doing this in a row. So it's like a mini boot camp live for you guys. Thank you, appreciate you for your hearts. And I said before, my goal was to help 100,000 men find love. Not just find love, but find the skills so they can repeat it for the rest of their lives. People come, people go. What if the music in the club is way too loud and it's difficult for everyone in the set to hear you? I've had times, and I'll share, this will make sense. We were in New York. We got there a little bit early for a change. Matador, okay, didn't sleep in, so we got out a little bit early. It was great. But we were in a little bit too early, and there was not many sets around, and I hate it when you're the first one in, and I kind of like to be in a sociable group, and people just appear, proximity, and you open. But there wasn't that available, so it was like the cold approach, the real uncomfortable that we practice for. It's our skill. And there was a slightly older girl, 30, and a younger one, about 25, hot. And everybody's staring, and you got that first set you got to go walk into, and it's hard because if you fuck up, and hey, nothing's guaranteed, you're just tipping the balance in your favor. What's going to happen is the whole room see it, and you can wreck a room just for, that's how it was in the 1800s. Guy makes a fuck up, and that's why we fear it. He could get ostracized from the whole social group. So I did what I had to do. I went across there and just made an observation. Can't remember what the hell I said. I'm not going to even try to remember. And I just kept going, kept talking and saying something. And I was getting stimulus, and they're nodding away and showing interest, and I locked in, leaned back so it didn't look like I was gaming them. And I said to the other girl, she's like she wanted to go get one of her friends in from outside. Well, look, I've got your friend, I'll look after her. We'll be at the bar, so I want to get to know if that's okay with you. She was comfortable with that, so I took her to the bar. And after a while, it's like 10 minutes in, I asked her a question, a qualifying question, because I'm getting all the IOIs. One of my favorite qualifying questions, I do it very playfully, so my first one, nice and simple, so like, do tell, can you cook? And I say it playfully, and she pulled out this book, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, is she deaf and dumb or what? She pulled out a French book. She was French and her English was shit. So for literally 10, 15 minutes, her friend, she was the nanny of this friend who brought her out, spoke a bit of English. She hardly spoke any English whatsoever. And I'm bouncing the set over there. A friend's leaving me comfortable, and she's giving me all the IOIs, and she hasn't got a fucking clue what I'm saying. What does that tell you? What do you draw from that? It was the delivery. I was relaxed and I was passionate about what I was into. Probably one of the few other guys in the room was opening anyway. So the bitch shields aren't, when you say bitch shields, we mean like, when women get feisty because they're sick of being approached by needy guys all night, they put their bitch shields up. They weren't yet activated. So it was a little bit easier. But it was just fascinating to me because of the delivery and the passion that I was using about what I was talking about. She was captivated. And that's exactly what happened to Mystery in Washington when we talked about the politics goals. So that just shows me is what happens in a loud club. Remember, it's loud for everyone else, for all of your competition, all of the other guys. Chances are they're going in, leaning in, showing too much interest. What also they're doing, they're speaking too quickly, they're asking needy questions. So you go in and you're a little bit louder and you learn to one, and these are my 6 P's. So you randomly ask, do you cook, and what happens? No. Guys, if you're so way off a point, I'll cover qualifying it out. If I take it out of context, it won't mean anything. I'm not saying that asking a girl, can she cook, gets you the fucking girl. No, it was just my playful delivery, and you'll understand that later. Okay, I don't give a fuck what she says. Okay, I'm just saying, I'm just shooting the shit. I'm just amusing myself. Self-amusing is the way of being. We will talk about the way of being, the flame and the ghost. Bum, bum, bum. We will talk about those in the next couple of days. This is the attitudes and the mentality that underpins the game. Okay, so we'll cover those in the next couple of days. So where was I? I'm with you, my friend. I'm with you. I feel that anxious energy. 7 days we got together. So what I was saying is about the delivery. There are 6 P's. If you want to write these down, that's the letter P. Okay. Number 1, you need to, especially in loud environments, is to learn to project your voice. Project. Okay. If it makes sense, guys, tap the screen, show the fucking love. You know, I'm sharing my time and energy here. I wanted to go to cinema. I was going to watch that Bird in the Eye, Sky in the Eye. What is that? Thank you. Guys, I'm looking forward to really meeting you, you know. I love what I do, and I love the relationships and fantastic friends I've met all around the world doing this. It's a pleasure for me to be sharing with you, and it's a privilege as well to have the skills that I have and be able to help other men. 100,000 in the next 5 years. That's my goal. And you help by sharing this, you know, by the way, you can swipe up, swipe left. It'll say share it with your Twitter now, and that means they can still join in and watch the replays. You're taking notes and giving that. Samto, did I miss your name, my friend? You probably told me earlier on. So the regulars, I will make a note of you. I'd like to get to know you. Right, number 1 is project. What do I mean by project your voice? It's literally you've got a girl there and a girl there. You can't just talk to one girl. Yeah, you've got to project your voice. So one of the things, and you speak a bit louder, you engage, project. I learned that a lot in I think our 2nd trip to Washington. One of the things, you see, when Misty was teaching, what would happen? Hey, Sam Grodin. You're a good guy. You share the love. I appreciate you, my friend. Good man, Sam. By the way, I encourage you to follow each other, guys. Let's keep this relationship alive and have a good wingman. There's nothing better than having great wingmen that you can go anywhere in the world and you're guys on the ground who know what they're doing and they can go out and have a great rock star time. So when I was in Washington, at any boot camp, I'd go into the warm-up and the pre-frame. Misty would come in and guys want to see Misty, right? So we're going out in the night time and I've got 10 live guys in field, me, Misty, maybe me, Misty Matador, me, Misty Love Drop. And that's like 15 bloody guys going in field on the night time with no goals. Because you've got to get in there first. And typically what would happen is I like to go to the bars first, but because Misty Matador, a bit prima donnas to get out of bed, and they all go out late, so we're going straight to the club, which I bloody hated. I'm going to take a boot camp with you all when you all hit LA. Next one's in Vegas in a couple of weeks' time, by the way. And then the one after that, Mexico City, which I'm really excited about because I've never done it there. Been to Miami. I'm coming to Miami this year. Don't worry. A girl wants to come to Miami, so we're definitely coming there. And what would happen is we were going straight into the clubs with 15 guys. So what I realized I had to do, which is great because I've got some warm-up practice. That's why I love day game. I'd go out while Misty was speaking and go on the streets and do some day game. And it was just good. The more I did numbers, the easier it got. And I was then getting those girls say, hey, we've got some crazy rock star friends in town. We're going to go out, we're going to celebrate like the end of Ocean's 11. Come along, but, ask, don't embarrass me, yeah? Put the naughty hats on. I like it. That was my kind of lines. I'm just being playful. And, if I got about 4 or 5 girls say yes. Yeah, that's gay game. Okay, if you get 4 or 5 girls say yes, I get 2 or 3 will turn up. But as long as I had some pre-selection, as long as I had some girls to break up the numbers of too many guys. So I got a lot of practice in the day game. And where I learned projection was really important was not just in the club, is in the daytime. You don't want to get too close to girls because it triggers that, people, the proximity is not as close. So I had to get used to projecting and making observations. Like a girl would be walking by and literally 10 meters away, and I'd throw it. I was just testing a calibrated opening. I'm not suggesting use this if you're basic, but I'd say, too much black. And she'd look at me like, if when they wear too much black, I used to like that. But you pulled it off pretty well, I'll give you that. Hands up. And then I'd just make another observation and be playful. And I was doing that from afar, but I was projecting my voice. A lot of guys don't like to do that. But it's an essential skill to have in the daytime, especially unless you want to go chase that girl to get really close to her. Say, hey, can I ask you a question? Hey, let me tell you something. Or, I really like, whatever you want to say. You don't have to get too close because you're triggering those defense shields that you don't want to trigger. You're a high value guy. Why would you run all the way across the street? So learn to project your voice. Number 1, P. And you get the idea, especially in the evening, in a bar or sociable, especially if it's louder, you have to engage the group. Everyone, because one person not engaged will wreck it for everyone else and for you. So number 1 is project. Another one, the basic ones are pitch. Okay, I made some notes for you guys. I'm just going to pull them up. But pitch, what do we mean by pitch? Okay, it's like your tone. You can go higher or lower. Higher, lower. Now you can practice it and I'm going to talk about how you can practice it. Now, the high is almost like too uber gay, okay? And you get a little bit higher, and then you sound a little bit girly in beta and excitable, and the too deep, boring guy with a deep voice. Now, if you have a deep voice, something you want to note in your delivery is in a club that the bass is resonating on the same level as your voice. You get drowned out, so you have to grab your fucking nuts and get some pitch in your voice, right? Okay, higher, lower, and you've got to put that in your sentences all the way through. Again, it's easier if you're speaking slower. The pitch, okay? Does that make sense, guys? If it makes sense, tick, 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 tap the love. Okay, the other one is social trigger. What's your name, my friend, and which city are you dialing in from? That'd be great to know. Do share. So the next P, we just covered, first of all, projecting, then the pitch, then the pace. Now the pace is the speed that you go at. Now people say speak slowly. That doesn't mean you need to speak really slow at the same pace all of the time. Sometimes you can speak slower, and sometimes you can speed it up to make a point, and then you slow it back down. That is a pace. It's like a concertina effect, slowing it down, speeding it up. But more times than not, slowing it down. But you don't want to get to the same pace all the way through because you're now boring to listen to. You never want to be that guy who is hard to listen to. Remember the scenarios I told you about Misty and I in both scenarios? It was our delivery that was captivating, not what we were saying. Remember the French girl? She fucking couldn't understand what I was saying. But it was the delivery and the way I was speaking that was captivating her. And one of the things that's really important, and I sidetrack here, is you have to be you have to be excited about what you have to say. So choose some topics that you like to talk about and find a way of practicing your delivery. Then you don't feel that you're using cheesy gambits or cheesy routines. You talk about things you like. The hardest problem for guys who've got interesting things to say and talk about is they deliver them. Did I close the French girl? No, not in terms of full F close. She went on to be a great girl in the group. She's probably just a bit too shy for me, if I remember back at the time. She was a bit too quiet, and I felt I was taking advantage. But she was cool. She was happy to be in this socially dynamic group with crazy friends around her, and we had pre-selection that allowed us to meet a lot of other girls. So that was really exciting. Okay, and I enjoy girlfriends now. I have a lot of good girlfriends, and there's a little rule I'll share with you: don't always fuck your first line of defense. Military saying. When you got a good wing girl, or sometimes some girls, if you know they're not your personality and you know you wouldn't be good in a relationship, you may want to fuck them, but then you close them down. I've got a girlfriend, a lot of girlfriends, and one of them, Sub-Zero, told me this tip. That's because I told it to Sub-Zero. He was one of my students. And one thing that Sub-Zero really worked on, he really worked Lance, he really worked on his delivery, because he was Mr. Boring. He very intellectual, got a lot of interesting things. So he was very boring in his tone, but he was also Mr. Anxious in the delivery. So you had this boring tone and then anxious energy. And then you got good. So where were we? Backtrack, rewind, where were we? So yeah, don't fuck your first line of defense. Some model girlfriends that I have now that I've not been there, no interest because it's not my type, but I've met a lot of other girls because of them. One of those girlfriends, basically I got to be a judge at a beauty finals, and then I hosted another one. I got access to so many options if I want them. So, fourth P, thank you. So first of all, you've got projecting, you've got pitch, and you've got pace. So speed it up, slow it down. Okay, you get the idea. I'm actually using these as we speak right now. Okay, the other one, okay, is another keyword, especially for guys with deeper voices. Certain words, you can draw them out. Okay, you can really emphasize keywords. That's called prolonging. Prolonging keywords. If you want to throw it out there, okay, this is a program for guys who want to get good at pickup artistry. So draw out the word. Yeah, draw out the word. Nice and simple. Prolonging. Guys, if you've got deep voices in there, you need to work on the projecting, okay, and the pace. But the prolonging and drawing out words allows you to emphasize, especially in loud environments. All of this takes practice. The other one, the mystery is amazing at this. I can't even get good at that. But the other ability is for you to add more pauses. I heard Ross Jeffries mention this, and I love the words. I could never remember the words. It builds up response attentiveness. And basically in that pause, it sucks people in. And if you want to practice this, I'll throw something out. So you are absolutely... And she maybe was drifting off, maybe one of the friends, and because of the pause, it went silent, they react to it, they look back in, it pulls them back in. So the pauses allow you to add more. You got it? Yeah, you're like, what? You guys listening to this podcast, this Periscope, are fucking absolutely... You're like, what? What am I? You're absolutely awesome. You are the few who do, are the envy of the many that don't. And I admire you like, it was uncomfortable. To stand up and say, hey, I'm not fucking great at this, but I want to get better and take action and position yourselves to be listening at a late o'clock on 10 to 10 on a Sunday evening. I admire that. But you see the pause? When I say you are absolutely, pause. What? It builds up the anticipation for what's coming next. And it's a very, very powerful delivery technique that mystery maximizes. And if you're listening to me and you just want to say some shit and you're not as, into the fan base, it's fucking annoying because I get to what you want to say, mate. But he's always his delivery. It's part of his unconscious persona, which makes him captivating to listen to. I've seen guys go in there, multi-millionaires, and guys turn Ferraris, and guy turned into a bloody big, was those stupid Bugatti-looking things, like Mr. Daddy with his girls, and he was saying something, and Mystery just kept talking, and when he tried to cut him off, he added, you are, and he added, this Mystery owned him, and it's this skill of delivery that will change your life, my friends. Seriously, not just in pickup. Please use this. Anything you want to say. So what have we got? Guys, quickly, little 30-second test. What are the P's that we've got so far? Type them in. Dum, dum, dum. I always let my coffee go cold. But this is a nice little beaker and that keeps it nice and warm. So we've got projecting. We've got prolonging. Thank you, Linkstep. We've got pitch. We've got pace. Tonality range, pace, yeah, project, pitch, pace, and pauses. Now, well done. You guys are awesome to work with. Okay, now the last one for me, you could almost fuck up on all of the others as long as you have this one. And this is my final lesson, and I'm going to take about 10 minutes, maybe 15, to answer some of your questions. Again, I'm not in a rush because you've got the next 7 days. Passion. You have got to sound excited. Excuse me. You've got to sound excited about what you are saying. You've got to be into what you are saying. Yeah? There is nothing more, well, there is actually one thing, than the word enthusiasm. If you visualize, if you're writing down right now, write the word enthusiasm down. Enthusiasm, if you have enthusiasm, people can only be sucked into the infectious energy that you're talking about. Last is passion. There you go. There you go. So passion, get this, enthusiasm. It's contagious. If you're into something and you're really excited and you want to know what you're talking about and let everybody else be sucked into what you're talking about, you cannot be passion. Because you could have all the rest, but if you don't seem excited about what you're talking about, then guaranteed one thing else is happening, because sometimes it's the pains of the mistakes we make that cost us the goal, not having the skill set. It's the pains of all our fuck-ups. Okay, one is if you're not passionate about what you're talking about, and I get drifted off, I'll be talking about, what do you say, emotional transference. Okay, I'll be into, that makes sense from a technical point of view. Okay, I'm into what I'm talking about. Because I'm using my hands, I'm looking away, I'm making a point, because I'm going there, like I'm trying to remember it, even if I already know what I'm saying, I'm looking like it's real. Okay, the opposite of that is you're looking at her, you're leaning in, you're trying to make your point, you want her to get it, you're asking questions, you're delivering with the same tone, and so it was really exciting. It's uncomfortable, it's uncomfortable. So passion. Go back to the word enthusiasm. Write it down. Enthusiasm. What are the last 4 letters of enthusiasm? I-A-S-M. I am sold myself. I am into. Okay? I'm excited about what I'm talking about. Yeah? They feel it and they get absorbed in that. I like that word. Emotional transference. You said that. Okay? I'll probably not use it. It's a bit too techy for me. I'm a simple guy. Yeah? I like practical skills. For me, the game... if you want to ask me, is that an IOD, a calibrator? Okay, I'll tell you what I've experienced. Okay, but I'm not going to get too much in the theory. And I followed Misty's rules to the letter, if not more. For every 1 hour that you spend talking, learning, researching, listening to, pick up as a skill set, make sure you spend at least 2 hours in field practicing it. Honestly, guys, that's the key. That's the key. So you've got to be into, I am sold myself. I said before, there is nothing more powerful than your enthusiasm that is contagious. People will click onto them, catch onto that. Do you know one thing that is more powerful than your enthusiasm? The learnings found in the doing. There you go, Jamie. Thank you, man. Good coach. Okay, so what is more powerful than enthusiasm? Pause. It is the lack of it. If you do not have that enthusiasm, you're going to kill every single set. You're going to be saying, I said this and she said that. No, it had fuck all to do with that. Is that you just were not into what you were talking about. You were not enthusiastic about what you were saying. So how the fuck can she be? See, a lot of guys, you see, that's why I need to go in field. You want to ask a million questions on a forum? Because the reality is 9 times out of 10, every guy I've ever taken in field, he tells me all the things. I always have a 30, 60-minute pre-chat on Skype. Good man, good man. He's going to go practice today. Okay? Everything he tells me, when he thinks he's his problems, I get in field and I look and I go, oh, no, that's not the problem. I don't tell him immediately. I kind of drip feed little bits in and debrief him. And when he gets it, it'll change his fucking life. And a lot of guys think it's these other key areas, but most of the times it's the lack of impact of the delivery. Because remember the words of whatever you're saying. Everybody says, well, like, what do you say? What do you say? What do you say? We already agreed that the words are only 7%. Okay? It's how you say them, not what you say, how you say them. So if you already agree on that, how you say it is based on the skill of delivery. And that it is why it is called, I call it the gateway skill to the whole fucking game. Guys, did that make sense? Is that an aha moment? Are some light bulbs going off right now? If it is, give me a 30-second heart attack on that one alone. If you get this, this will change your game. There you go. Me too. Going to the mall, Starbucks. Hell yeah. Guys, appreciate you. Actually, what are we on little heart attacks there? We got like, it doesn't actually say. It used to say 92. I appreciate you. When you're over 200, I love you. Okay, so that makes sense. What have we got? We got, first of all, we have projecting. Engaging attention. We have the pace, faster and slower. We have the pace, the pitch, high, low. And then we have prolonging keywords, drawing them out. We also have adding pauses to pull them in. And most of all, we have passion. And more importantly, beyond the game, if you guys can get into your life when you go out, and you're sharing things that are of interest to you in a more fun, playful way that is more captivating to others, you'll enjoy life so much more. The game does not have to be so painful. As I said, my goal not only is it to help 100,000 men find the skills to find, meet, and attract the woman of their dreams, but it's also to help you guys take the pain out of the game. Not the game, the game. Because the game can be painful. People get stuck in ruts. It's hard to get into, but sometimes it's also hard to get out of, especially when you get stuck at a certain level and you're running around and using gambits and things, but you never move beyond that because you didn't understand you were only using them in the first place so you could practice your delivery. Make sense? Okay, well, that's 10 minutes, 10-minute free-for-all if you want to hit your questions. Somebody asked before, do you want to ask any other questions on delivery right now? Do you get, just make your points. If there's one little lesson you took away from this session, please type it in now. What were your aha moments? What were the key things you learned? Just one thing each. That's all I ask. Then it's more of a workshop rather than just talking at you, right? It's been a pleasure. It's been emotional. So I'm waiting for you guys to type in now. What do we get? John, Social Trickster, Desi. Hey, Desi, my friend, how are you? Let's see who's on there. Alex, Daniel, Sam, Jamie, Loud Chirp, I'm not sure the name there. Ricardo, Daniel, Albert. Loving it, brother. Excited for the lessons to come. So, Alpha Male, what was your, I'm just going to write all these names down. Alpha, what's your name, Alpha Male? Hold them. So, guys, if you know you're not, one of the things Style struggled with, and Mr. was sharing, and what I've met him quite a few times, is he isn't a club guy. Okay, he had a softer voice, so Mystery and he would be out midweek, not on the weekend so much. So if you know that you haven't got a very dominating or powerful voice, or your range is just, it takes time, months and months and months. Slowing the fuck down is crucial. There you go. To see that everything is fucking fascinating. I swear too much, I do apologize. But Style was a softer speaker. So they would get out early. So if you're a softer speaker and you know you're not going to be loud and dominating and range of delivery, then go out earlier. Go midweek when there's not as much noise around. Find an environment that works for you. But just don't hide in that environment. A lot of pickup artists, they get into one skill and they spend all their lives trying to convince everybody else it's a better game. Who the fuck cares? Find a game that is right for you. There are lots of them. It's not the game, it's how you play it. Make sense? So find the right game and find the right environment that works with your voice, but do stretch yourself into more uncomfortable, because that's when you're stretching yourself and you feel most uncomfortable. When you feel, by the way, most uncomfortable is when you get the biggest gains. Do that again. My little niece, she always does that. Can you go back to overcoming the cock block? I can, my friend. How do you overcome the cock block? Well, first of all, it's a fucking whole 1 hour lesson, to be honest. But here's the key thing is how, and that's why I like this, because somebody has a forum, you got to go back and forward over bloody months of talking about it, and it's draining. I can't even type that fast. But with the cock block, is she actually protecting her friend and good use to her if you're the kind of guy who's showing way too much interest? A lot of guys say, just tell them how you feel. But if you're going into dominant and showing too much interest and being the social seducer, okay, her friend is going to want to protect her. So she's going to block her. And typically that's coming because she sees that you're showing too much interest. Either you're standing too close, you're being too needy, you're being too anxious. Or her friend, she looks at her friend and her friend's like girl coding and going, yeah, that it's not into you and what you're saying. And it's not normally that they're not into you, it's how you are speaking. You could be the ugliest guy on the planet, but if you've got good delivery, I'm not saying it's going to get you all 9s and 10s, but, if you've got good delivery, they will engage with you, and that gives you time to weave in your value and open up your value so they can see the true beauty of a man you are, okay, rather than just a brown paper bag that you're wearing on the outside. So is she protecting a friend because you're showing way too much interest? That's one. Sometimes you'll get it is if you have been showing too much interest to the target themselves. Here's one other scenario. You show too much interest to the target and she's on the outside and she's just being a bit pissy about it. Or maybe the way you were speaking, okay, let's say if you've dressed yourself up to be an 8 as a guy, and they're 7s or 6s, okay? And it sounds harsh, I know, but you've got to have a visible scale here. And they're lower value than you, and you're negging, okay? Or you're not being encouraging, or you're trying to play Mr. Elusive in your body language. She's going to feel a bit uncomfortable that you're being a bit Mr. Arrogant, and she's just going to try and cut you down. So that's another variable there as well. There's also she's missing out. Sometimes, especially certain personalities, the A type or the D type, or what they call the fiery red or the Jung's extroverted thinking, those dominating ones, you're saying things and you're being challenging and holding court. She doesn't like to sit on the sideline. She likes to jump in. There may actually be attraction coming from the cock block. So my advice to you is make sure, first of all, if you backwards engineer, there you go. Backwards engineer and make sure you're engaging the group first of all. Make sure that you are pitching your game, and this comes with practice and skill. I missed that one, my friend, that last long one, sorry, and if you say it again, I'll respond to it. Make sure you're pitching at the right HB level. That's why you want to get more practice on girls at least similar to your higher value. And by the way, if you've got girls who are softer and you're coming in and you've got your little entourage and you've warmed up with your girls and maybe she's just a 6.5, show some love. You can show interest in that environment. You can ask friends, you're absolutely adorable. I'm adopting you as my little sister. Give them a hug. Pull them in. Okay, that's all you get. Kisses on the cheek, compliance, bang. So it depends, where's the cock block coming from? I used to get it because I was a little bit harsh and the negging sometimes, and her friends might hear it. But what I realized, I was speaking too quickly. They didn't see the impact. They just heard the words sometimes, and they thought it was a little bit harsh and the cock block you. But a lot of cock blocks sometimes, what is the cock block saying? They're using, what do we call them again? Shit tests. Now, shit tests, I would much rather have a cock block and a shit test that is allowing me to be involved in the conversation. It's a little bit like sales. I'd rather have the objection of somebody standing there than walking away. Now, if she physically grabs her friend and pulls her out of the way, you are showing way too much interest, okay? Or you were just acting way too low value. And we're not going to go into that low value right now. But if she's throwing stuff at you, shit testing, what's with the silly curly hair? What's with the fuzzy hat? Fucking awesome! Because I practice for that. I practice. She wants to know you're not being reactive, first of all. And they throw shit tests. So ask, is it just a cock block? She's dragging her friend away? Or are you getting a shit tests? Maybe your delivery was a little bit high. I go out and I'm a bit playful and I throw my voice up there and I throw it down. And she says something like, Are you gay? I don't know. Would you like me to be? No, I'm not, darling, but my boyfriend is, I think. Yeah, I've got my responses. So that's the game. You know the shit tests that are coming at you, and the very way you respond, not what you say, but how you say it. Are you getting this shit now? Is it making sense? Not what you say, but how you say it. The very way in which you respond in your playful delivery and non-reactional lets her know you're safe. You're not going to be reactional in the relationship. And she'll like that you dealt with it. You're confident and you're playful. Social intuition. DHV. Boom. Okay. What else does she normally say? What are the cock block shit test statements to get? Does that answer your question? Lots of different variables. Check out your game, have a think, and feedback next time. By the way, we've just got an awesome group. I just launched it today. Mystery's in there and a few of our coaches on there. Number 3, second rule. It's a Facebook group. Go join it. I'll give you access tonight. I'll prioritize you. Get on there. So a lot of the stuff that we're sharing on these videos will be on there as well. And we will interact with you, especially for the next I'm 25 years, have a child 3 years old. Good for you, man. Should I day game with him? His son does open door. You have a child who's 3 years old, right? YO stands for year old. I'm open. You take him along as your wingman? I don't know. Are you? First of all, my question to you, my friend, are you a single parent? And by the way, if you're out with a kid, if 3 second rule, yes, 3 space second rule. It's a Facebook group. It's the name of our company. We named the company after one of the most powerful rules, and we're going to be talking about that later on in the week. Yeah, great. So it's like taking a puppy dog. Okay, there's no need to hide it. What it says is that you're safe. You have a child with you. Okay, and you can go out there. I'm not saying going out there and do F closes in the middle of the street, okay? But if you want to be out with your son and you're out there and being Mr. Sociable, women will drop their guards fast. You sit the child in your lap and just engage. You will meet more women because of that. The reality is, if you have more time to get inside of their minds and demonstrate some of your value, the child will not be an option. It's not a safety factor for a woman. The danger factor is her being stuck with a child that you don't stick around for. You sticking with your child is a comfort factor. Okay, so don't let that worry you. And hey, mate, man to man, get out and enjoy life, whether you have a child or not. Okay, I'm not saying being Mr. Sleazy pickup artist, but do get out there, and it'll buy you some time. Just be with your child. Look like, and hopefully you are, enjoying your child's company. Give them attention, and just ask a question. Women will engage with you. Marriage, sex, children, all part of opening factors. They'll love it. They'll love it. Talk to my friends. Take my kids for ice cream next weekend. Hey, my nephews come with me. It's easy. Oh, puppy dog. Child and the puppy dog. Easy pickings. Easy pickings. Loving and investing in the world to have. Good for you, my friend. Good for you. I look forward to having children very soon. Actually, it's the next evolution of life. Okay. Next question. Do we deal with cock block? If you liked it, tap the hearts. If you asked the question, it's 100 hearts. Boom. That's the currency here. That's the currency. Good man. 1 or 2 more questions, then I'm going to go. I'm going to watch a bit of Sons of Anarchy. I like that. And then off to bed. By the way, guys, do me a favor if you've liked this, and I really appreciate you being here and engaging with me. It's been enjoyable. Swipe right. I think swipe right. Somebody tell me, is it swipe right on an iPhone and swipe up or down on an Android? Come back to can roll-offs be compliance test? Interesting, good point. I'll visualize and feel, but on there, you swipe right, swipe up or down, and then you can share it. If you share it now, it'll go on your Twitter, and everybody will be able to get this, or rather used as one. Roll-offs, I do them naturally, because if I'm doing roll-offs and, and I'm in the game, and I'm like talking there, and I'm kind of rolling up, it wasn't meant to be the body rocking and rigid kind of, rigid robotic style. The roll-offs just show her you genuinely were going. Why do we weave the word in false time constraint? I can only stay a moment. It's all right saying that, but remember, we already know that false time constraint is only 7% words. Your body language has got to be demonstrated. I don't need to demonstrate a body language or the false time constraint. I'm throwing things out, but if I'm here, she's there, and I'm kind of moving that way, it says I've got other things going on. I'm a higher value guy, so I have other things going on, so I am naturally just testing. And what happens is, a compliance test, I wouldn't say it's a compliance test as such, but what you can do is trigger a reaction. You can see where you are. So you could say it's part of a compliance test. Again, I'm not too into the technical of it, but I do it naturally, and I've woven it into my game so much. What I like, and it does trigger, is I slightly pull away, throw some energy out there, throw some gambits, and I slightly roll off like I'm looking like I'm ready to leave. And if what I was doing, my delivery was good, what will happen next is she will go into her autoresponder mode. Oh, I like your X. She'll reach out to re-engage you. If you were stimulating enough, yeah, you raise the temperature. That's why we're going to be talking about the Oscar model in the next couple of days. Open, stimulate, captivate, attract. You have to stimulate. No stimulation, boring guy. You stimulated, she's going to be re-engaging with you fast. Oh, what do you do? Where do you come from? What's your name? I like your X. 4 key questions. And you got responses to those immediately. All from the roll-off. That is testing the impact I have in that set without being involved. And that's more advanced stuff. We'll get into that next few days. Very exciting. Great question. One more, guys. Got a mouth like a Gandhi's flip-flop. Your opinion on lies during game, like mysteries fake it till you make it. Mysteries fake it till you make it concept, by the way, but was not about lying. Is acting, and it's a little bit like they talk about. There you go. Think and Grow Rich, one of the best books of all time by Napoleon Hill, studied by multimillionaires. The mentality is, if everything in your life goes the way you want it, what kind of money would you be earning? Where are you going to be? So if you're who's tight on a bit of coin right now, and if you know that if you keep taking action, you'll have a hot girlfriend. And the same with money. If you know you're going to be wealthy, so you feel good about that now. Act and behave as though you already are. You are drawing down of the future emotions you will have to now. Is that cheating? No. Everybody does that. That's why 75% plus of the enjoyment factor of going on a holiday is lived in the moment of making the commitment to booking it. No, you haven't got on there, but the second you book that holiday, you're super excited about it. The boss says, oh, your work was shit. You're like, whatever, I'm going on holiday, mate. You're like, the headspace is so excited about the future, even though it's not happened already. So the concept of fake it till you make it, it's not about telling lies and I do this and I do that. It's telling people where you're going, but just not just telling them because it's so hollow, because you created it. And we do this on our boot camps. I spend a lot of time, what are your goals, where are we going? And some guys don't have them. And I want to get those cracked down. So before we go out, he's super pumped about his future beyond the game, because he knows if he works on this skill set, he will have the super hot girlfriend, or a girlfriend beautiful enough to get him excited about life, have a wonderful family, have a great home. He's got to believe that, and he's got to get pumped by that. And when you get pumped by that and you believe it and you're talking about it, is that lying? If you believe it and where you're going. The problem is, and there's a challenge is, when some guys have nothing else in their lives, they want to get laid and they're not working on their life or doing anything else, they have no goals, no dreams, and they're just spouting shit, then that's a problem. You might get her attention, but eventually she's going to see through that, and it's going to make you feel hollow. And then you get a little bit needy of those little shits and giggles that you constantly create with your game. And that's when guys get stuck in a really sad place. Okay, and that's a shame. So, fake it till you make it, okay? It's just a saying. But what we're saying is really define your life the way you're going to be. I had some tough times a few years ago. I lost the company and everything, probably because I got distracted by the game. And it cost me dearly. But I wasn't down by that. I wasn't down because I knew where I was going to be, because I had a dream, a vision, and a goal. And when you have a dream and a vision and your goal, I have my little goal cards and I carry them around. Where I'm going to be in 5 years from now. I'm going to be living in California. I'll have my pilot's license. I'll have a couple of kids. I'm looking forward to that. I'm so laser focused on that I draw down that now. People sense that about me now. I love your answer reading that book. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Same concept. And by the way, I'm doing exactly that now, by the way. We're nearly finished. But if you want anything in life, including gain or wealth or money or happiness, help a few other people get what they want, and you will get what you want. Do you know what I mean? If I help people build their businesses and I earn a little bit off those, residually dripping in and building my wealth. by helping other people get what they want, by helping them build their businesses. If I help you guys, when I go in field, I started learning, by the way, more when I started helping another wingman, trying to teach them a little bit about what mystery had taught me. And by being a coach and coaching something, I wasn't great, but by teaching and sharing what I was knowing, it was helping formulate it more tighter in my mind, and it was making my journey accelerate in my skill sets. So help others. If you want to get good at game, find some other guys who need some help and go help him. And by default, you help me, help 100,000 men find, meet, and attract the woman of their dreams. And keep. Another ball game. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure sharing. Shawn Michael, AK Discovery, from the company 3 Second Rule. As you speak about Napoleon, what's your 3 most influential self-help books? It depends on the stage of your life, because I don't like to push things on people. One is Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. That was great for me for having a bit of balance in life and learning just to generally think win-win, seek first to understand and then be understood. You're welcome, my friend. Young Wine. What's your name? That was that phase. Anthony Robbins was good for the phase when I wanted more motivation to go for it and go for it bigger. Jordan Belfort, before the film became famous, The Straight Line Persuasion, about the attitude of just being laser focused and taking massive action. That was great for that. The book, The Game, and the Mystery Method. Fantastic. When I needed to meet women, right? Now I need to learn yoga and be more relaxed. And my wealth I've been working on for the last few years, and Think and Grow Rich for Napoleon Hill. So it depends on where you are. Please be mindful of I submit to the 3 Second Rule group. Thank you, my friend. And it depends on where you are. Be very careful of dumping other books on other people. You need to read this. You need to read this. Where are they in their lives? Help people get what they want, and you will get what you want. Okay, guys? Yoga, yeah, I've got a Buddhist meditation center just across the street. It's been, I'm just on that new journey of relaxation. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure sharing. Subscribe to 3 Second Rule. When you finish this, please share it on your Twitter. Please share it on the groups that you're in. It's a little session. A lot of guys aren't doing this. They talk a little bit, a few lessons, and talk about pickup. But what I'm going to do is something different and give you a sophisticated model that is going to allow you to find the right kind of game that suits your personality and give you the pitfalls, the pros and cons of each, and then work with you guys to help build your delivery, give you some challenges. But we're going to be doing this over the next 7 days. So please do share them on your groups, share them on your Twitter. My goal, very quickly, in the new 3 Second Rule group there is to get 1,000 people on there within a week. Okay, I think we just hit about 150 today only. So yeah, share, encourage others. It's been a pleasure sharing with you. It's been emotional. Take care, take action. Spamming hearts. Hey, the hearts, I love the hearts. That's your appreciation. If you pump the hearts, I appreciate you. It's because I know it hits. I know it's working. It's like getting the nods. I can't see you. And if you've got other questions tomorrow, get your pens and papers ready. Bring them along. And connect with guys in here. You see them you see them saying positive stuff. Somebody says bullshit, just block them. Okay, but there's some guy on there like Jamie or Alex or Eric there, Albert and Sam, all saying positive stuff. Add them, follow them, what they're doing, you know. Follow them and connect, and let's make this a great, healthy, social, safe, okay, and respectful community. Take care, take action.